Yes, sir, Ding King, sir. We're back outside recording part two. You know what I'm saying? Here we are. Welcome to the TGF Book Club. We getting started 30 minutes late today just because of technical difficulties. So with that, there's 10 of us on here. Next week, let's try and double our numbers and I'll invite somebody else to the book club call. You know what I'm saying? This call right here is one of the main pillars of everything that TGF stands for. Truly, this is where a lot of the growth that we've all experienced over the year has stemmed from, truly. So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Like, the leaders are on this call. Are your leaders on this call? Period. Go find your people, hold them accountable, get them up on Saturday mornings, tell them to pop an AirPod in if they're at work, if they're busy, if they're on a drive to another city. Like, truly go hold your people accountable and get them in the room. Because, like, real life, if you want to go be the person who attacks and crushes the goals that you set, you have to become more. You have to do more. So we've got to be, as leaders, we've got to hold our people accountable to becoming more, to doing more. And aside from holding them accountable, we've just got to help them become more and guide them along in that process. This is one of the rooms that they need to be in, truly. So with that being said, and I don't say that because of me or anybody specifically on this call, I say that because of each and every one of us. It's a mastermind that we literally do together every Saturday that helps every one of us when we hop off of this call really go hit a new level mentally, really understand things in a different light, really go and walk throughout our life with a different attitude, knowing different things and aware of a completely different perspective. So with that being said, don't miss the next one. This book has definitely been something serious, and I'm excited to talk about productivity today. That's level 3 of leadership, the law at the production level. Now, when it comes to production, like, real quick, insert, how do you get to the level 3 production level? You produce. How do you produce when you've been in a space of not producing? You either commit or you quit. One of the two. So with that being said, as we go through and read this section together, as we really go through and chop it up about it, like, just remember that today is a new day to commit. It's a reset, rerun, refocus, and then let's go get into action every 24 hours as we go forward to really go step it up, because at this level, this really separates real leaders from wannabes. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it off to a real leader that I know, a great man who definitely has been coming in here swinging since day one, literally been talking about the value. I was excited. I literally watched the video, like his first ever call the other day, and was like, yo, it's crazy because everything we said is happening, and we're still in the process. We're nowhere near the finish line, but we're nowhere near where we got started at either. So proud of you, Jason. You can kick us off, brother.
Thank you, brother. Man, it was crazy this morning. I was talking to Yella, Eileen, and Selena before we were driving out to Houston. I was like, you know what I think about? I was thinking about when TGF, we're going to hit our first million. Like, I just think about it like so much, like this milestones that we're going to be breaking in the future. I don't know. I was excited, but that was just one of the combos that I was having this morning. I was like, just wait on it. It's not if, it's going to be when, because it's going to happen. But kicking off on level 3 production is some notes that I took before, because like I said, I'm out here in Houston. I forgot to bring the book. I had it on the counter, but I grabbed my Bible instead of that book. So either which way, I'd rather grab my Bible regardless. But speaking of that, if there's a quote that I remember on production on level 3, it says, if the position will not reflect glory on me, I'll reflect glory on the work, right? And the one thing that I take for that is my faith, because my position is to praise and to give worship to the Father. It will never reflect glory on me, and I'm okay with that, right? But I can bet my life that I'll reflect on the work of doing so, lifting him up because he deserves it, right? Now, I want you to, the key thing that I took from that is understanding who he is, right? And what he produced for us and what we can do with it. And then another thing I took, another quote that I took was President Lincoln to General Fremont, right? Obviously, me and my wife were in the military. Is his cardinal mistake that he made is that he isolated himself and he allowed no one else to see him, right? And as a leader, if you isolate yourself, what do you think that's going to make your team think, right? Your team's gonna think you fell off. Your team's not gonna think that you're not doing what you're supposed to. Your team's gonna look at you in a different light, right, than the one that you portrayed, right? Going back to what Marcus was saying a couple weeks ago about your authentic self. Like, is that really you? Are you really talking about who you say you are, right? And then because productive leaders thrive on results, right? Everything's about results. You thrive when you produce something, people want to hop on your bandwagon with you, right? From themselves and the team, they show the way and the others will follow. So if you're showing the way and constantly bearing fruit, people are going to follow that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to happen. Why do you think God is in the position that he's in? Because he bears fruit, and only good fruit, right? He's the highest authority. And every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that, yeah, you're the most authority. You produce the best fruit, right? But we can do it on a minimal scale. We can produce good fruit. Now, if you're not producing any good fruit, it's probably because you're not rooted in the right place, right? And that's just a little self-reflection that I had to do sometimes too. I do that all the time. Every single day I wake up, I reflect, what do I need to do today? How do I need to do that so I can produce fruit for not just myself, but for my team? Because it's not about me no more, right? And then it goes right into where the key to building a winning team. It's recognizing who's the momentum takers, who's taking what we got and what you said and using it for their own benefit instead of the organization, TGF. Trying to take the momentum that we have or you have that established and not give credit back to where it's due. Then right, once you figure that out, who's the momentum makers, right? Then you get to selecting which ones you believe are the best fit. Going back to what Alex said, I remember when we had when Alex had that mentorship call. He said you got to disqualify some people, and I know that I think about it a lot. When you can come, when I can, I like you attract who you are, right? But you also need to know which ones that you need, and not just the ones that you think you need, right? Like everybody's just like, oh, I need people. No, like you need the right people, right? And then that's how you can get your retention. The best people come from the ones that you attract. Now, are you the best person? Because if you're the best person you can be, you're gonna attract the best person that you are, right? So that's why it's always really good to actually dig deep within yourself and actually go out and put in the effort. Because if not, you'll have momentum breakers, right? Everybody's lost somebody on their team. It just happens. It happens, right? It reminds me of like that sesh that Kelsey and Marcus brought up, knowing who to give your time to. So you don't waste your time or you don't waste theirs. That 70-30, like people are going to put this in, so many people are going to be this in. I don't remember when we did that call, but that conversation resonates with myself when we draw that little, the square and we put people in certain categories. Like I remember that, right? But that's the most that I took from level 3 production is actually knowing who you are before you go out there and try to make something that you're not. So whenever you're actually there, you can actually keep people hanging around the campfire. Because your production is going to be not just what you're producing out your mouth. It's going to be what's producing around you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're already rooted. We have the foundation. The foundation Marcus and Mikhail already made for us is solid. They produce that, right? Now, if we're going to come, are we going to be just a branch, or are we just going to be that leaf that withers in the winter? You know what I'm saying? That falls off. Or are we going to be a branch that stays there through the storm? And that's pretty much what I took from like level 3 production, you know. And here's a little insight on level 4, because I'm ahead, like I said. On level 4, it's like development, right? And just making the right decisions. All right. And it ties hand in hand. Just because you go up to another level doesn't mean that you forget the other one. All right. So make the right decisions. As a leader, your decisions are always going to be public. And I remember Mikhail and Marcus were saying right now, hold your people accountable. When you're not holding your people accountable, just know that decision is also public because it's seen. You know what I mean? You cannot hide your decisions from people. It cannot be hidden. You may try, but it's not going to happen. If you put someone in a position, you have someone do a value assess, anybody that involves someone else taking a step down or up will be noticed by the entire organization. So even when you make a decision to not do something, everyone will notice. Hence, being on the calls. Right? I mean, granted, my phone's about to die, but like I'm trying. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just trying. I'm out here, out in Houston, but I'm standing outside in a parking lot. This is Mikhail status. You know what I'm saying? Like outside the parking lot, bro. Like everybody else is inside. It's a little chilly out here, but I don't care. I know that I took all these notes for a reason. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just gonna miss it. Like, bro, I enjoy book club. I enjoy reading. I enjoy hearing what people got to say. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I took from level 3 production, guys. Let me see, who can I popcorn next?
Let me that thing real quick. Let me take that thing. Let me take that thing just because I'm at work and it might get popping here in a little bit. I appreciate it. First off, Jason, fire. I kind of felt nervous going after you, and not gonna lie, but I was like, I gotta go. But what's popping, everybody, is happy Saturday. Honestly, chapter level 2 definitely opened my eyes when I first read it. Chapter 3 with the level 3 production allowed the path to really form for me, and then allowed me to actually walk it. And I think that was like one of the biggest things that stood out from the jump of the chapter. John C. says, let me pull it up. He said, authentic leaders know the way and show the way to productivity. Their leadership talk is supported by their walk. The results tend to silence their critics and build their reputations. Most people are afraid to, this isn't John C., this is just me, but most people are afraid to lose a reputation they don't even have. So what is your walk saying about you? And like, what are you doing? Was the biggest thing that I asked myself. And what I saw was how he brought up in the upside of production, or excuse me, I lied. Yep, the upside of production, where he says, part number 2. Nope, I lied. Part number 3. Good leaders constantly communicate the vision. They do it clearly, creatively, and continually. But that doesn't mean that everyone receives the message, understands, and embraces it. You communicate the vision through action, which helps people understand it in ways they may not have before. You're not just telling somebody the way, you're showing them, and you're walking them on the path, not just guiding them ahead. A lot of leaders and people in position, they just be telling people what to do without understanding that their actions speak louder than their words. So if you're not moving in the way and you're telling them the way, then in all honesty, you're full of BS. Because you're not, it's like what we say whenever we talk about the presentation, man. Like, I can never do anything, or I can never tell you anything I haven't done. So if I'm trying to teach you how to swim, but I've never swam, like, you don't need a life jacket or somebody to help you, because I ain't got the results that are going to help you get to where you're trying to go. Like, the goal being actually helping somebody get from where they're at to where they want to go. And you have to be able to get yourself from where you're at to where you want to go. It's the biggest difference. So don't just tell the way, show the way. And then in that process, allow your walk to be along. No worries, bro. Much love. We appreciate you hopping on. But allow your walk to be another form of communication to your people, not just letting them know what's up, but showing them how to actually make it happen. It honestly sets the difference, because at the end of the day, production creates momentum. And like John C. says, momentum helps the leader do anything and everything more easily. So if you want to have better production, you need momentum. And momentum is not like found, it's created. You know what I'm saying? When things aren't working, you got to do something. Like, leaders make something happen, man. And that's what I love about production, because, like, yeah, I hear you, but like, show me your receipts. Like, what do you got going on? You produce more results more often and you'll win, is what I wrote down in this book. Produce more results more often and you'll win, because in that process, you're actually creating fruit for your people to not only understand what to do, but know that you'll do it with them. And that's what sets people apart in terms of long-lasting influence and impact, because if you're not willing to serve, or you're just serving yourself, then your production's not going to be as much, because you're making it about you. There's a limit and a cap to it. There's one other thing I wanted to touch on really quick. Let me find it real quick. Okay, so for the best behaviors, number 1, understand how your personal gifted contributes to the vision. Understanding how your gifts and abilities can be used productively to further the vision of the organization. I was just talking to Donnie about this morning. Y'all shout out Donnie. He got me out today at work, my guy. But there was an excerpt where this pastor was talking about the conviction of your Holy Spirit is dependent upon you, not your community, because it relies on the certain gift and value you bring to the table that no one else can offer. And you have to be willing to do the deep work to recognize what you bring so that you can walk in that and then get results that move in that. Every season of your life is a different level of production. You might be a team player until it's your time to step up. You might be a contributor in a certain lane until it's your time to help create a different lane. But you've got to be willing to actually understand like what your value is so that you can help other people in that process. And then the last thing I want to touch on, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Sorry, y'all, one sec. So the law of magnetism. Here's what I really want y'all to understand. People attract others similar to themselves. Birds of a feather flock together. We attract who we are. So like, if you want to attract better people around you, you got to become a better person. And that's the most difficult part because that's the challenge of life. Jim Rohn says it. We can always have more because we can become more. And if we never become more, we'll always have what we've always gotten. So if you want better people, you've got to put in the results. I just want to give you guys a couple examples on how that's evident in our lives today. That man, Jason, truly one of one. If I hadn't done the due diligence of practicing self-discipline, consistency, putting in the reps, and then in that process, getting better throughout the process and showing through my organic sharing of my story, showing through getting results, congratulating him on the growth of his team, on showing how I myself am doing the deep work. What makes y'all think on God's green earth that man would ever join in business with me? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. The preparation and the work that I've been putting in for years has led me to finally come into a season of my life where other people of value are being magnetized. Bob Proctor talks about goals. The moment you write it down and you put it in your head, they're literally like magnets. That same is true with you as an individual. So if you work on your goals and you create results, you're going to attract other people along that. When you produce results, you show people that you actually are about what you say you're about. Yeah, I don't know if you actually realize this. For those, we mention it on time to time on different calls, and not everybody's on them. But this man, Nigel Stinson, a 7-figure earner, this man has literally a serial entrepreneur, chairman 50 within I Mastery Academy, has decided to be and partner up as an affiliate with TGF, the Global Family Network, because he's seen the results that Mikhail has put down. He's seen the results that our organization has put down. He's seen the results that I have been able to actually put down. And that's why he thought it was valuable enough to put his name on a dotted line to actually go and build a vision together. Who are you attracting, and what do you want? Because in that process, it really does come down to, okay, I hear you, but I see you. I hear you, but I see you. And if you recognize that you can look at yourself in the mirror and say that you're putting in the work to actually get the results that you're aiming for, and you're giving it your ultimate best, is what John C says. I'm gonna end it on this. Giving your best. It's an acronym. Believe in others, empower others, show others, and teach others. You got to believe in your people. You got to empower them. But in order to be your best, you've got to show them. That's what production does. It shows them what to do. It shows them where to go. It shows them that you actually care. And then you teach other people to do the same, and your entire life will change. It's crazy. I'm grateful and I'm thankful, and I appreciate everybody actually participating and being on the call. Just know that if y'all need anything at all, I'm here. And if you just do the due diligence and put aside the reputation that you're afraid of losing that you don't even have just yet. And you recognize that every day I wake up, 0 left, 0 right, 0 down the middle. Brand new day. I got to prove to myself first and foremost, and I got to prove to God that I'm worthy of the life that He is calling me towards. And then you will prove to others through the action of your feet that there is a way, and that there's always a possibility for you to create the life that you want. So I love you guys. I'm grateful for y'all. And I'm going to pass this thing over to my guy, Donovan. Appreciate you, my guy.
Whoa. Fire. And man, bring the sauce. Definitely. Hold on. You go. I got the computer on this way. Definitely something that I have been growing upon recently, especially reading this book and then having those conversations with Marcus, because they definitely help. And you can't lead if you don't know who you are. And so first finding who you are and what it is that you want, why it is that you want it, and diving into that aspect. And as I'm diving into it and this book and the level of leadership, and just seeing how, like, there's definitely things I can work on 1 and 2, and then seeing on level 3, like, I was there, but kind of fell off track just a bit. And so working on little things just within, because if we continue to, I was listening to Jim Rohn this morning, if we continue to sit there and blame our circumstances or situations, then that's all that we have. And the change starts within, and if you want to change, you got to change. And so reading this chapter and going over it, and seeing how on the production, on the upside of production, a few things that stood out to me is the leadership or the credibility of a leader can be summed up by one word: example. And just leading by example and doing the necessary things, doing the things that you said you were going to do, and just showing the way rather than telling the way, how Marcus was kind of touching on. And that'll lead to people wanting to follow you, not just because of the relationship that y'all built upon 1 and 2, but because of the influence and the credibility and who it is you are as a leader and why it is that you're doing it. And as you continue to help other leaders grow while to the level of leadership that you're at, that builds that level of credibility within yourself, and then the people who you're working with and leading to be leaders as well. And then on the downside, let me see. On the downside, and how it can definitely be difficult in the aspect of, like, if you're being productive, you may think you're a leader, but in some situations that's not the case, just because you're doing things for yourself, you're being productive within yourself, and actually I'd say that's a leader upon yourself. But in order to call yourself a leader upon a team or a group of people, you have to be bringing things to the table, and it starts with like your purpose and your reasons why within yourself. And as you walk in those in that purpose that God gave you, you can really bring your gift to the table. And that's I think I heard Marcus touching on that on what we were talking about in the car this morning, and just like having him break that down for me and understanding like, okay, and then going over this specific downside. I was like, yo, I am not where I thought I was, and I definitely have some work to do. And it all comes together. Like, you don't go from one level to the next without utilizing the skills and the things that you learned in the level before. They all play together, and you have to learn to utilize them all together to be a level 5 leader and get to that level 5 position of leadership. And the other downside that I had seen is how leaders can feel like this heavy burden and weight on their shoulders just because of the standard they hold themselves to and other people hold themselves to. And honestly, it's something that this past Tuesday, our young adult pastor at our church, I think it was this past Tuesday or last Tuesday, I remember, but he had touched on how you should pray for your leaders and like have those conversations with them because they're going through it. We're all people, and shout out to Marcus and Mikhail for everything that they do, and like knowing that because they hold themselves to that standard, they're wanting all of us to level up as well, and not feel like they let down. And that's just a part of leadership and us as people. So definitely stood out to me, and especially with our pastor talking on it. So much love to our leaders. I'm definitely, like I said, excited to continue to read and like really dive in, because this chapter I kind of skimmed over. Didn't read it fully, but definitely one of them ones, and I'm excited, y'all. So let's get it. I know we can all be better, and like I said, it starts within. So let's get it, y'all. Much love. It's the only beginning. So I'm gonna go with DeAndrew.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. But I was saying what's popping. A couple things that I didn't finish it fully. But I was gonna touch on a couple things that one Marcus was talking about we can talk a big game, but it comes down to your receipts. And a couple notes I have here. Let me pull them up real quick. Couple quotes I have. I have one of the Mark Twain ones. He goes, "To do right is wonderful. To teach others to do right is even wonderful and much easier." And it comes back to the study session Mikhail went over about not even doing like the 90-day run call. Like if Marcus and Mikhail were to either move on to something else or God forbid and die, but who is going to step up? And you need to create those next leaders so that one, not just so your plate's not full, but one so you can go spend that time doing something else to either improve the app, improve the back office, improve branding TGF. So you don't have to spend all your time doing flyers. You don't have to spend your time doing promos and stuff like that. So it's creating leaders who represent you. And if you are not at the level of the leaders that you are wanting to create, then you will not get them or create them because you are not that leader that you are wanting to draw. And I've been saying this a lot is, or we all say it a lot, is like you can't go to the next level and forget the next, and you will not attract somebody who, yes, you will attract somebody sometimes who are better than you, and then one will either discourage you or it will encourage you to become to that next step, either to show them that I'm your leader, not your leader, but like, how do you say it? I'll come back to that. But another one I had, he has a couple bullet points he has, and two of them that stuck out to me was hold yourself to a higher standard than you ask for others. Be successful before you try to help others be successful. Because like Marcus says, you cannot tell somebody to go do something if I'm not doing it. Goes back to fitness. You're not going to ask somebody who eats, I mean, I guess you can if they eat McDonald's every day because it's a different story, but you're not going to ask somebody who's 300 pounds, how do you lose weight? You're not going to ask somebody who plays baseball how to play football. You're going to look up their receipts, what they have to show, and if you're going to either want to will to go ask them to teach or to get taught from them, or you're not. And you got to represent yourself like you think, like Donnie says, like these people are humans who are millionaires, who are influencers. And it takes a lot to do it every single day. And say if Marcus does not do a good morning or nobody does a good morning in the mornings, like that energy or something's off just because basically saying like you don't have time for a rest day, if that makes sense. And just building those receipts, and like Donovan said, what I was going to point on, like thinking back like how far we've been into I am like almost 2 years. Ani, come here, mom's sleeping. Even though you might not be where you come on. No. Oh, okay, let me pick you up. Come here. Even though you're not where you want to be, don't let it beat yourself, or don't beat yourself up, but you still want to beat yourself up at the same time. Just because you cannot just give yourself that or tell yourself like, oh, it's okay that I'm not where I want to be. Like that's either if it's okay, hold on. If it's okay to you, honestly, personally, it should really piss you off. Just because, like, unless you're going 110%, if you could tell yourself you've been going 110% every day and you're not where you want to be, then okay. But if you are not, we can all be doing something different. We can all be doing something better. And just because we're not where we want to be, it's for a purpose. And it's either for you to turn it into a lesson or for you just to kick it into next gear. So what I would leave off with y'all is just go collect more receipts. I love y'all. And whoever wants to turn on their camera, they can go next. Oh, Amber just left. Kayla, Austin, McCall. Boom.
Well, I know that Austin is busy. Before I go, Kayla, do you want to pop in?
Yeah. I'm driving right now and I can't look at my notes, but and my mom's on the phone talking to my aunt.
So if you want to close this out, you can close this out, or you can go right now. It's up to you.
You can go ahead and go because I don't want to be distracted while driving.
Bet.
Oh, you were cutting in and
I just muted myself when I said bet. That's funny. But what up, y'all? What's good? 1D, great word, bro. Truly, I can see your growth, fam. And we all have space to grow, man. And I'm glad that just everybody's been catching the lessons, bro. I appreciate that, truly. As we all grow forward, we're all catching these lessons together. We're all continuously in the pursuit a progression together. So it's evident, man, in everybody's life right now. So that's amazing, and I'm grateful for it. When it comes to this chapter, for me, y'all, it was something serious. I'm not gonna lie, especially because sick last week and the beginning of the week. The rest of my fam is sick now. Especially because like I have this like weird relationship with productivity that I just don't care what it is that's gonna hold me back. I gotta make stuff happen. And I gotta make stuff happen daily, and that's just like the mentality that I've grown, the habits that I've grown over the years. Like all this week, I didn't even realize that I had COVID earlier this week. I was literally just feeling like complete crap, feeling beat down, but at the same time, still delivered a fire value session this past Wednesday. At the same time, was still on every other call that we did this week as well. Did a study session on Thursday. And then also, I don't remember if I feel like Marcus covered the IBO call Tuesday. And also locked in some contracts this week. Also been doing client calls this week. Even did a few IM presentations this week, which is nuts. And we've been getting it cracking, like real life. And it's wild because majority of people with COVID would stop doing everything that they have going on. They'd sit on their couch, they'd watch TV, and they'd do absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, we've been in here grinding. My daughter's third birthday. What was we gonna stop? No, we're not gonna stop at all. And that's literally the mindset that it takes to literally go and get the results, collect more receipts, and make productivity a consistent habit. And as I always say, if you consistently build the habits of success, success eventually becomes a habit. It takes a while to get disciplined about all of those habits, but as soon as you do, the game changes. And that's what's really cool, honestly. I've been noticing that a lot, not just in my life, but also in our business. I've been peeping how not only are like is myself getting results, Marcus is getting results, Jason's getting results, Josh is getting results, Amber's getting results, Anthony's getting results, Kelsey's getting results. Like it's happening. So with that being, Marcellus is getting results. Like everybody's really moving and grooving into productivity. And when it talked about being a leader who really operates in that phase, he also talked about how hold on, let me go back to it. Boop, 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 boop. And I went to the wrong piece and the wrong notes. This is what happens when you're screenshotting because you're reading on your phone. But what he talked about is you become a change agent. And when you become a change agent, and as a result of you being that change agent, you can solve tough issues, you can make difficult decisions, your people become more effective, they take action, and they achieve results on the team's behalf. As a result of all of that, great things happen. Work gets done, morale improves, profits go up, turnover goes down, and goals are achieved. I feel like we've definitely set the foundation of our team with a sense of one, we set it with, position is natural, but permission. And then from there, we moved into productivity. And it's why over the last 2 years, we've had such a strong retention rate between our core. It's not normal that you have a team of 20, 30 that literally lasts together throughout their entire journey for damn near 2 years. It's not normal in network marketing. Usually there's a few of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like 2, 3, maybe 4. You know what I'm saying? 5 is a stretch. And we got like 20, 30 deep that have been out here with us literally on every single book call just about for the last 2 years. And so with that, I just know that we're doing things the right way. And that's why last week I said like we were moving into this production phase when it comes to our organization, when it comes to leadership. So a few good things about productivity: provides credibility to the leader as your people will welcome you achieving results, models and sets the standards for others visually when you lead by example, provides clarity and reality to the vision as your team will take action and see progress towards the vision. It also solves many issues as effective leaders remove obstacles, extinguish fires, and correct mistakes. It establishes momentum by making things happen and producing results. And it sets the foundation for team building to assemble a winning team in the entire organization. We out here. Big shout out to TGF. Now, here's some of the downsides. And this is something that honestly a lot of us leaders are dealing with right now. So, 4 negatives. 1, you may believe that you are a successful leader, but personal success does not always translate into team success. That's why I just had to shout out some stories. Shout out TGF. 2, you also feel a heavy burden of responsibility for results. And at times, because of that heavy burden, you can get tired of leading. That's super real. If you feel the heavy burden for the results that you haven't been getting and your team hasn't been getting, it's going to be harder to get back out in front and lead them and go forward. That's just natural. It's harder to start again than it is to stop or than it is to keep going. Period. And once that heavy burden takes over, once you get a little tired and you take a break, what happens is it takes even more production that make leading difficult. Sometimes when we have abrasive conversations or when we have moments where we got to chop it up with a leader and it's like we might step on some toes, but we real life be nervous to have them conversations. I don't know about you guys when you guys are leading in other areas of your life, but I know for a fact when me and Marcus have to have like those conversations with some of the leaders, we literally call each other and we'll talk through it for dang near an hour prior to, just to make sure that we can communicate it in the right way, because it's difficult to lead. It's difficult to guide a person. It's difficult to hold a person accountable and understand that you're about to step on their toes and either they're going to get it or they're not. And if they don't, could be bad, So it really is, it's a difficult thing to lead. It's not easy, period. Now, 4, it also demands continual focus on level 2, as there's a temptation to neglect relationships. I personally struggle with this one a lot. This is one of my biggest pitfalls and struggles in leadership. When I get into my productive zone, I stop calling everybody. You're saying literally. When I'm in my permission zone, I call everybody all the time, period, point blank. You might hear from me at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I'm in production zone. I'm going to call you when I think about calling you if I don't have a call right then and there. And so it really takes intentionality to literally go in there and continue to foster those permissionable relationships while you're continuously working on production. I'm finding that balance in my life right now, and I'm still not all the way there, but it's definitely something that I'm working on. So this chapter was definitely different for me because I'm understanding the difficulties just as much as I am understanding the positives of leading a high productive team. I've done this before, and I've seen where we didn't have any permission really to lead all of our people in the process. And that's why when things started to crumble, everybody disappeared. So literally, like all of these 5 levels of leadership, what I'm noticing is you do not move up to one level and stop doing the previous level. As you move up to each level, it takes a continuous and intentional focus on each level that you pass in order to go up and not just hit that next level of leadership one time, but to maintain and sustain that level of leadership, that level of momentum, that level of productivity, that level of permission. So real life, I am absolutely loving this book. Big shout out to Marcus for making us read it. I literally read a lot of other John Maxwell books, but I've never read this one. He never breaks down stuff that he has broken down in this book in other ones this way. So absolutely grateful for this book club. And then I just wanted to real quick go over these laws as well. So the laws of leadership at the production level, there's one, the law of respect. People naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves, period. That's a natural, we all know. Magnetism, Marcus talked about. Who you are is whom you attract. Law of the picture. People do what people see. That's a literal law. People don't do what you say, they do what you do. The law of victory. Leaders find a way for the team to win. Period, point blank. We're all going to win. We're crossing the finish line. The law of Big Mo. I love Big Mo. Momentum is literally a leader's best friend. It's something serious. When she gets around, you start to get giddy, wake up smiling. The law of priorities. Leaders understand that activity is not necessarily accomplishment. There's a difference between activity and productivity. Productivity literally takes you steps closer to where you want to go when it comes to your goals for that given subject. If you are not being productive and you're being active, you know, period. Now, the law of sacrifice, a leader must give up to go up. It's real life. You want more time, you got to sacrifice more time, period. Sometimes you have to sacrifice what you want overall. You literally have to sacrifice it right now for a moment for something that you don't want to do that's going to get you that desired result. The law of the buy-in. This is repeated at every single level. People buy into the leader, then the vision. And then lastly, just these beliefs. Well, these beliefs are definitely different. Production is not enough, as you need to develop your people in a leadership culture. That's something that a lot of network marketers have backwards. They think production is just it, and the leadership development can happen in a natural way at the events. And no, it's not. You actually need to dig in. 2, people are your own organization's most appreciable asset. So prioritize their growth more and a much brighter, so prioritize their growth more, much brighter future. So long story short, people are your own organization's most appreciable asset. As in, people build the business, your business will not grow if the people do not grow. So prioritize their growth over the business growth, period. It's the reason why, yes, it's important to hop on client calls. It's important to do everything else. But you know, it's even more important, our Wednesday night huddle call where we do recognition and a value session, our Thursday night study sessions, our Saturday book clubs, our Tuesday night IBO calls. Those calls, the Sunday night recap calls on the weekly, the mental health calls once a month, the empowerment calls for women, empowerment calls for men. Like all of those, the Bible study that we do every Wednesday, those are massively more important than the next client coming in. Why? Because those are the things that enable us to be in this position to go get clients coming in, to go and make more money in other areas of our life, to go and be more influential, to go be more impactful. People development is the greatest fulfillment for a leader. So help yourself first to better help others. As in, develop yourself, and then you will understand how to develop somebody else. And once you do, you will have the greatest fulfillment on earth, period. So it's a vibe. Now, number 3, this guide to growing through level 3. Last thing I want to cover, because when it comes to this guide I found online, honestly, it was fire. No lie. 1, be the team member you want on your team. All my IBOs in here, wouldn't it be awesome if you had a chairman in your organization? Hit me with a 1 in the chat if it would be lit if you had a chairman. For the 4 of us on here. I can't even see the chat. There it go. Okay, bet. Donnie want a chairman. Marcus want a chairman. DeAndre, you don't want no chairman, bro? I'm just playing. I've seen your comment just now, bro. But all in all, yo, we got to act like it. What do chairmen do? Show the deal every day. What do chairmen do? Read every day. What do chairmen do? Go to events, tune in. What do chairmen do? Know their product. What do chairmen do? Have their product. These are all things that we got to do. And if we want that type of person within our organization, we have to be that type of person first. 2, translate personal productivity into leadership. Use what you do to teach what you have done, period, and to go and show the way. Number 3, understand everyone's productivity strengths. In order to understand somebody's strengths, you have to get to know them. Therefore, they have to give you permission to literally come into their life for them to be open, honest, transparent, and vulnerable and let you know their strengths and their weaknesses. You have to discern those strengths from those weaknesses as well. Now, you also have to cast vision continuously. Are you talking about where you're going? Are you talking about what you're doing consistently to people that you're around? I was in Target last night, ended up meeting this girl, got her connected with Amber because I was like, yo, you don't know where you want to go in life, and here's what we've done, and here's where we're going, and here's how we're helping people. And we got some dope vehicles where we can help you Figure out exactly what you want to do in your life. Cool if I grab your gram, put you in a group message? She said, yeah, I grabbed her gram, put her in a group message. Are you outside talking about what you got going on? Really giving value to other people other than yourself and the people who live in your same house? Do you use momentum to solve your problems? Period. Can you discern how team members affect momentum differently? That's a leadership trait, for real, real life. The 80-20 rule is also a guide to growing through. You got to understand, 80% of the work will be done by 20% of the organization. So focus on the 80%. The 20% gonna keep on working. Focus on keeping the 80% because that keeps your whole paycheck. Period. It's actually kind of different. Yes, run with the runners, build with the ones who are trying to build, but also the reason why you want to focus on your people, focus on people development, is because that 80% holds majority of your paycheck. Leadership is one of the most highest paid professions in the world. Why? Because you have to do more than the average person. You don't only have to focus on the 20%, you have to focus on 100%. Last thing, don't neglect level 2 and accept your roles as the change agent. Period. So, fire recap of this chapter. No lie, everybody really snapped. Everybody did. I appreciate y'all. People have been popping off, having things to do. You know what I'm saying? We got started a little late today, but I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's go run it up and be here for next week. Those of you guys who are catching the recording, we appreciate you tuning in for the recording. Deandra, I appreciate you. Marcus, I appreciate you. Donnie, I appreciate you for
Solid
staying.
eclipse right now.
Oh, word? Like actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it's solar eclipse right now. Let me see. Do you have to
See if
put
you
on the
can see through
glasses?
the.
Hey, you need these special glasses, bro, but they're lit. I'm not gonna lie to you. The clips. It's kind of crazy.
Can you see it or no?
I mean,
It's
I
kind
can
of
see
hard
the
to see
sun.
through a phone.
Oh yeah, bro. It used to be sunny out here. We can't see the sun up here. Too much clouds. Go back inside.
Texas is nice and pretty outside. Wow.
Yeah, it's freezing out there. It was literally beautiful 30 minutes ago. Sun
Nah,
was
it's crazy.
shining,
It's like
blue skies.
kind of dark out here, but it's not.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a little cartoon,
That's
like
crazy.
a painting.
Crazy.
Well, that's
Hey,
fire.
is Austin gonna go or no?
Austin said something in the chat earlier, or maybe he was texting me. I think he texted. Long story short, I think he went to go eat with the fam. So, pretty sure I can just end this thing and that'll end the recording. So,
Who's recording?
let's run it till next week.
Oh, okay. Austin recorded back. Appreciate y'all.
All right, bet.
Much love,
For
man.
sure. Much love.